Hello, and welcome to the Empty Cans Podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Tom. This is a podcast straight out of Boise, Idaho, about two normal guys who really like beer.
This is a little bit unusual for us.
Second episode this month. It's crazy.
It is. We warned everybody.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we might do a special episode.
Yep.
Well,
Here it
what
is.
better time to do a special episode than Stout Beer Month? It's
Yes.
Stout Beer Month. Did you know that, Tom?
I did know that.
I did know that, but Stout Beer Month is not one I usually celebrate because stout beers are a little bit hard for me. Today, we're going to go over everything there is to know about dark beers, not just stouts, but porters too. And we're going to let everybody know what the difference is between a porter and a stout. Tom and I, we don't know shit about stouts or porters.
Definitely not.
Not our flavor, but we're doing it today. So we actually had to bring in a dark beer expert. We have a guest with us today, Brad. He is here with us. He is our dark beer expert. Welcome to the show, Brad.
Welcome, Brad.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, we got a little beer news for everybody. So the Mountain Brewers Beer Fest is in Idaho Falls this year, and on June 4th.
Idaho Falls.
Idaho Falls, yeah.
Isn't that like a Mormon capital of Idaho?
Yeah.
Or is that Twin Falls?
No, it's Idaho Falls for sure. I just thought it was kind of interesting location for a beer festival, but
It is a little bit odd.
I don't know what the draw is for Idaho Falls, but that's fine. Anyways, it's put on by the North American Brewers Association, and that was founded in 1996. So the website includes the governor's proclamation noting that August 23rd through 28th is officially the Idaho Beer Week.
See, even the governor likes the beer.
Yeah.
He likes beer, so he's got to be
Does like
somewhat good.
I think he likes the revenue from the beer, but
Oh, okay.
we could go
Yeah,
into
yeah.
a little more specifics later, but that's
Sure.
fine. Anyways, annually, it's been donated $131,000 to local charities, scholarships, and etc.
That's pretty good.
$131,000.
That's quite a bit.
That's quite a bit.
Good for them. Good for the North American Brewers Association. Today, we are actually drinking a stout in honor of Stout Beer Month. I'm going to let our stout expert take over at this point because he knows better than any of us. Brad, what are we drinking today?
So today we're drinking the Matryoshka from Fort George, and they are from Astoria, Oregon.
I will tell you this. Tom and I do love Fort George.
We do.
They come out with several great beers, and apparently they come out with dark beers as well. I didn't know that. I just thought it was all just really good IPAs and hazies. You know, I didn't pay much attention.
That's
to
our
anything.
tunnel vision, our blinders.
Right.
A little bit. You know?
Oh, we got them on.
Yeah.
I think I might have had one stout from Fort George before, and I remember it being good.
Was it the Kavatica Stout?
That could be.
Could be. That's kind of their base stout that
think
they
it's
always
like the
come out
all-
with. This one's a
all
little
year.
bit of a like special edition type of thing.
Yeah, this one is bourbon barrel aged. It's a Russian Imperial Stout, and it's 14%.
Oh, damn.
That is a big one.
That is big.
Yeah.
We are going to be trailing off at the end of this podcast.
Hey, we're drinking a little bit. He might be trailing off, but
Yeah.
we're just doing a little tasters. So
Honestly, if we had a camera on us right now, we'd have so many disappointed people with us because I'm here drinking this delicious stout in a plastic cup.
yeah, a little kid's cup, right?
Yeah. Little kid's plastic cup.
I should have brought the little tasting cups. I apologize for that.
Yeah, I don't have those kind of cups, so
Yeah.
I'm a little embarrassed right now. But thank goodness we don't have cameras,
Right. Not yet.
so now nobody
Not yet.
knows.
But in honor of that, we should take a sip.
Right? Absolutely. Here we go. Try it up. Oh, oh! I taste all 14% in that one.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Brad? What do you taste when you get that?
When I'm tasting this, I taste a lot of the coffee and chocolate notes, perhaps some molasses, but a whole lot of alcohol.
It is very boozy.
Yeah,
It's very good in my opinion.
very good beer from Fort George. I really like it for a stout. I mean, that's
Easy now. You really like it? That's a stretch. I mean, come on.
that's the booze talking, I
Yeah.
guess. When I look on Untapped, it does say, and the website, Fort George's website, it does say 0 IBUs. Can any of you guys taste the bitterness?
I don't taste bitterness. I taste the booziness and the chocolate and coffee. I don't know how you really pull out the IBUs in this one.
What do you think about it, Tom?
To me, it's like a typical stout, chocolate coffee. I do kind of smell maybe like a little bit of the wood from the barrel in it. But other than that, it's not bad. It's just not our style.
I have to agree with you there, Tom. It was a little bit rough for me. 14% coffee, chocolate. That's kind of like most of the stouts that I've had.
But to be fair, I don't think we brought this to the right temperature either.
Oh, right. Last month or the last episode, we did talk about bringing beers to certain temperatures. That brings out all the flavors and the aroma of the beers. Mm-hmm. And I pretty much dicked the dog on that one. I did not do that at all. I threw it in the fridge. I got a beer fridge out in the garage, and it keeps everything to like 32 degrees. So I really screwed that up. That's all on me.
Well, I can tell you that the longer this sits out, I mean, it's been poured for what, maybe 5-10 minutes.
Sure.
I can get more of the tasting notes from it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what I'm tasting. I just know that it was just coffee and chocolate, but like you could smell more of the wood and that kind of stuff as it warms up a little bit.
My wife likes the wood. Moving on. It has not been that long since you and I, Tom, have gotten together. Last time we had the episode, I went out to Western Collective and Twisted District. Uh-huh. Since it hasn't been that long, have you had a chance to get out to any of these local breweries?
No, I mean, besides the Growler guys, we kind of pre-funked before, right? So that's about it.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I did go to the Co-op recently.
Okay.
Within the last week.
Co-op, familiar with it?
Yeah.
The one downtown?
No, the one in Meridian.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I'm just a little disappointed in the selection. I might be steering away from going to the Co-op.
Oh, shut your mouth, Tom.
I might.
Shut your dirty mouth.
The only thing that would draw me back would be any of those Connecticut beers that don't typically go to Albertsons and that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. They had one there that was $9 for a 16-ounce can.
Holy shit, Tom. You got to be kidding me.
Not as expensive as
the
stout here.
You really get into some money when you're drinking the stouts. Brad, what is the most that you have paid for a bottle of stout?
Typical 16-ounce bottle, probably, let's see, it was, I think it was right around $35.
$35 bucks. That's like a pint. A pint of beer. You paid $35.
Yeah, I love it that much.
Are you proud of that?
Yes.
I mean, I can't even imagine spending that much money on an IPA or hazy or pale or anything.
Did you keep the bottle just to display it? Oh, man.
So a lot of people actually get those special fancy stouts and they cellar them and keep them for a couple of years to, I guess, make it better.
I do. I do have one.
Shut your mouth. You are professional.
2019. It's a Goose Island bourbon barrel.
Oh,
okay.
And I'm hanging on to that one for, I don't know how much longer, but yeah, I'm hanging on to it.
I do hear the Goose Island is a really good one to do that with.
Yep.
They do have a really good stout.
Probably their only good beer.
Well, yeah.
I haven't had much
Yeah.
experience with it. I've tried the Goose Island IPA and didn't like it. So
Yeah, we don't see a whole lot of that around
no,
here.
we don't.
Really. Brad, you are actually not from Boise.
No.
You live in Twin Falls.
Yes.
Tom and I, we every once in a while go and we go hit these local breweries. What about Twin Falls? What in the hell is in Twin Falls?
Not that much.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
There are a few breweries there. We have Kodo Brewing, Milner Gate Brewing, and the one I went to 2 weeks ago, Magic Valley Brewing.
Okay. Magic Valley Brewing. I think I have seen that on Untapped. How was that?
It was pretty good. I normally stick to the stouts, and that night I pretty much did just that. They had it was called a basalt stout, and it was pretty tasty. And I even ventured off into the IPA world with
Ooh, say it's not so.
Wow.
with a very odd, I think it was called the El Diablo IPA, which was brewed with jalapenos.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Did you feel that one the next day?
Yes, I
The
did.
next morning?
That was out of my comfort zone for sure.
Those are hard to drink.
Yeah.
A little bit.
They are.
From time to time. I mean, a while back I had one, and the first couple sips, it's like, holy smokes, this is something so different, so strange.
Yeah.
And by the time I was like 3/4 of the way done, it's like, I cannot have another drink of this.
Yeah.
Hats off to the people who do like it. That's great. Fantastic. There are quite a few out there for those people. So
Sure.
you guys are covered. Brad, what is your background? When did you start drinking the dark beers? Was it dark beer right out of the gate? You're like,
No.
You turn 15, you're like, give me a dark beer.
It was a lot like you. I drank the MGD for
Oh,
quite a few years until I felt like I was getting in a rut and I was just kind of tired of them. And so I did a little research and found a Samuel Smith oatmeal stout. And I ordered one of those, and it was like a completely different experience. And
absolutely.
So
So completely different.
ever since then, I keep my eyes out locally and like on the Tavor app, and I look for.
No, you do Tavor too.
Yes, I do.
Nice. How much money have you spent on the Tavor app?
I'd rather not say.
I hear you.
It's
Been
hard to keep track. Ever since then, I just almost always stick to stouts or sometimes IPAs, or I prefer the hazy IPAs myself, but yeah.
So, honestly, what makes you a dark beer expert? Because we brought you on as a dark beer expert. So, what are your credentials? What is it?
I don't know about expert, but I do drink a lot of dark beers. With the Tavor app and with a little bit of the selection that I have in Twin Falls, which isn't that much, I do drink a lot of different stouts and porters.
Twin Falls might be the backup Mormon capital of Idaho. So I do imagine it is a little bit hard
Yes.
to get some good beers in Twin Falls. Obviously, Tavor is a really good choice to get those beers.
Yes.
What is the best beer you've had off of Tavor?
Boy, that's a tough one.
What is okay? On a similar note, how much have you spent on one beer on the Tavor app? Because I know Tavor is a little bit more expensive than just going to the grocery store, but they do have beers that you don't ever see around here.
Yes. That was probably the $35 one, and
Okay.
it was from Anchorage Brewing. I do not remember the name of that one, but it was very good.
After $35, I would hope that I didn't remember the name of that.
That's very true.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, man.
yeah, for $35, I'd expect a lot out of that one. So
Yeah.
that is very good to know.
All right, Mark. Do you have any stories about stouts and porters?
So, Tom, let me tell you, I've been around a while. I got the gray hair to prove it. I started drinking stouts. I think I covered this in one of the other episodes that I started drinking the stouts and porters. And honestly, my wife and I, we both got into it and we loved the porters, which is a little bit different than the stout. And that's all we drank. And our go-to was the 3-Picket Porter by Crooked Fence. We loved that. It was so nice, smooth, perfect. One night, we decided to go to a BSU game.
Okay.
Okay. And it was going to be cold. It was one of the winter games, you know, it was super cold.
Late at night.
Late at night.
Yeah, super cold.
So we decided to actually get a hotel down there in walking distance of BSU because we like to tailgate and pre-funk,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We packed up all of our stuff and we took it to the hotel. And then we're like, okay, we got a whole bunch of time to kill. Let's head to 10 Barrel and get some dinner and some drinks and see what happens. So we go to 10 Barrel, and I think this is where I got that fancy glass.
Oh, yeah.
And the waitress
Yep,
said, well,
yep.
that's a fancy amount of alcohol.
Yes.
Honestly, to this day, I cannot remember what that beer was or how much alcohol it did have in it, but it had to have been over 10%. So we have that. Great. Fine. So then we're like, hey, let's go to Mulligan's.
Oh.
which is our downfall. It seems like we always know somebody that is there at Mulligan's. And then we start having fun and we start drinking and everything like that. After 10 Barrel, we went down to Mulligan's and we walk in and sure as shit, we know a guy down there. He's sitting at the bar just not doing nothing but drinking because that's what you do when you go into a bar, right? So
that's what you do when you go there?
that's what I do.
Are you sure?
That's what I do.
Oh,
well,
okay.
Mulligan's, you can actually play pool and foosball. And anyway, he was there. So we started talking to him. And, Mulligan's is serving the 3-picket porter on tap. So that's awesome.
Boy, yeah.
So we had a 3-picket porter there. And then I'd swear after the first one, they blew it. So they didn't have 3-picket porter anymore. So what they did have was Sins of Our Father.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, are you guys familiar with the Sins of Our Father?
Yep. It was good. Don't remember the specifics about it because it was probably more than 3 or 4 years ago that I had it, but I do remember it was one that I would get again if I did see it.
So Sins of Our Fathers is 10%.
Mm-hmm.
10%, 20 IBUs. So it's a very good, smooth stout. Not a porter, but a stout. So now all of a sudden, I went from a 3-picket porter to a stout, a 10% stout, mind you. And they're not pouring it in a fancy glass, so I don't know how fancy it is at the time. So I keep drinking these again, like it is the Bud Light.
Oh, boy.
And obviously, we're down there, he's down there, and then some more people come in. We're like, hey, how's it going? Woo, let's do it. Next thing I know, it's like, okay, it's getting close to game time. We got to get back. We called a cab to take us to the hotel so we can get into our cold weather gear. I remember calling the cab. Cab's there. We walk out the back. We get in the cab. Bam, done. I'm out. I remember nothing after that
You
point.
just blacked out?
I blacked out. And
man.
let me tell you guys something. I am somewhat professional. I have never blacked out in all my life. I'm kind of thinking somebody slipped me a roofie or something. Somebody's trying to take advantage of me while I'm at Mulligan's with my wife. Maybe they did. I actually have no idea. But we somehow ended up back at the hotel. And I do remember waking up and I was on the floor right at the foot of the bed. My wife was on the bed and she reaches down at me and she's like touching my belly or something and woke me up. And I'm like, oh, we got to go to the game. And she said, yeah, we got to go to the game. I'm like, I don't think we're going to make it. And then bam, out. I didn't wake up till the next morning. And when I woke up, I had all kinds of messages and shit on my phone, on my wife's phone. Because when I got into that cab, somehow I left my phone in the cab.
Oh,
So the cabbie, he just starts calling numbers. So he called my mom.
Oh, shit.
He called my sister. And so it's all out. I am feeling like the biggest turd alive. Everything on my body hurts. All my hairs on my body are hurting at this point, and I can barely breathe. And we get enough gumption into us to actually get back home.
Yeah.
Fun night. Actually, it wasn't so fun.
But
But then we get home, and then my mom calls up, says, "Hey, we're in town. We want to come by."
Oh, great.
Oh shit! I had
boy.
to put on the brave face, and I had to act like I was not hungover, like never before. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I did a very good acting job because I think that's when my dad sent the missionaries over to talk to me.
Oh no.
So, yeah, it was not very good. Not a very good time. So after that, any more of this coffee and chocolate, it does not work for me. Does not work at all. What about you, Tom? Have you had an experience like that? with
not
the
like
coffee?
that. No?
No?
Not like that.
It was
I've
just
never
me?
drink porters like a Bud Light, so.
Okay, well, what about you, Brad?
I haven't had any bad stories like that. all of my memories
Oh.
from drinking stouts are good memories.
So you're
It's
a pretty responsible adult that
pretty much
can handle their alcohol.
well, pretty much.
Apparently, I'm the only one.
Usually,
That makes me feel great.
usually I'm at a place where I've got a designated driver and I can drink just whatever I want.
Well, I drank whatever I want. I had a cab come and get us.
Yeah, but you weren't experienced drinking porters.
No,
at
I was not.
10%. You're going from a 5% beer to a 10% beer. Like, that's a big jump.
That was a big jump.
I'm usually ready for it.
I am never ready for it, and that's mainly why I don't drink the stouts and porters anymore. A similar story. When I was a teenager, I went up to my boss and I said, "Hey, I want to get wasted tonight. Here's like $15." He comes back with a bottle of Mad Dog 2020.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so you guys have heard of it.
Yeah, I have heard of it.
It was grape flavored,
Yeah.
and I couldn't drink it straight because it was so horrible. So I did shots of it, and I kept doing shots all night. Next thing I know, I'm in a t-shirt, boxers, and my socks. We're on the cruise, and somebody knew somebody that worked at Taco Time, so we go into Taco Time, and it was almost closing time, and I remember standing there in the aisle of Taco Time. I looked down at my feet, and I throw up all over the place.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, how good is that? I feel like a rock star at this point.
Yeah.
So to this day, I cannot drink grape Kool-Aid or grape flavored
Oh,
anything.
no.
I can't do it. It makes me want to vomit. Right now I can actually try some of this matryoshka, and I didn't vomit. So that's a bonus for me.
You almost did. You had a face.
I did have a face. Thank goodness we don't have a camera.
Yeah.
Of course, I got a face for podcasts, so it's all right. Anyway, Brad, what is it about the dark beers that attracts you? Is it just the difference of it not being an MGD or a Bud Light or something?
It very well could be. I was kind of thinking about this the other day, and I have a really big sweet tooth. I love chocolate. I love just about anything sweet. I mean, that's why I'm kind of large. Because I can't hold it back.
You are in the right group.
Yeah. But I do like coffee. I do like chocolate. I like just all of the flavors that they put in the stouts, like the vanilla, the molasses, just all that good stuff. That's just what attracts me to it. It's just awesome.
Tom, have you ever homebrewed a dark beer other than the black IPA? I don't want to dwell on the black IPA too long because
We already talked about that.
Yeah.
No, I have not brewed a dark beer.
one time Brad came up for a visit, and he and I brewed a dark beer. And since we live in different towns, we actually tried it for the first time. We went camping together. Our families got together, went camping, and that's when we tried it. And because I bottle, and when you bottle, everything's so sketchy. I mean, it just, whatever can happen. Well, this time the beer turned out flat. So we had a flat stout. I mean, it was a stout,
Yeah.
but it was flat.
Yeah.
I don't know. What'd you think of it, Brad?
I thought it was still good despite being flat. There weren't quite as many flavors as you get as some of these that you buy at the store, but it was still good in my opinion.
If I remember right, our recipe was very simple. It just had the dark malts and a little bit of coffee and not much of anything else. We didn't put all kinds of crazy adjuncts in it to make it like super complex.
Right.
How much hops did you put in that? Do you remember?
One?
1 ounce? 1 ounce?
No, just one cone.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, typically, I think when I looked it up, most of the stouts are 1 to 2, maybe 3 ounces max.
Right.
For the
I think
whole brew.
we put in just a little bit. If you want to home brew some beers and you're on a budget or you're just a cheap ass, definitely go for the
Stouts,
darks
yeah.
because they're hops. That's where the cost is when you're home brewing is the hops. That's what costs so much.
Yeah.
So there's very little hops in these dark beers. They're a lot cheaper to brew than the IPAs.
Right.
All right, Tom. We're going to talk about the differences.
Okay.
What do you got?
So main difference is the kind of malt. Porters use malted barley, and stouts typically use unmalted roasted barley.
Ooh, roasted.
Roasted.
That must make it extra special.
Yeah, probably. Cost more, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that coffee flavor comes from when they do the roasting type of a.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, stouts typically have a stronger coffee taste over porters. Stouts were originated in 1622, and then porters were originated about 100 years later in 1722.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Stouts came from Ireland, and porters came from London.
You see the Guinness. I mean, I remember back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Guinness came out huge. It was all the rage. Guinness comes from Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
It's all starting to piece together now for me. Mm-hmm. I didn't give two shits about it before, but now I get it. Okay, Ireland.
I did actually have a story about Guinness. Way back in the day.
Okay, let's do it.
Well, it's not really that big of a story, anyways. But I basically went out with a coworker for his birthday or my birthday. I can't remember which one, but he took me to. This was way back in the day, before I was married. So we went to some club.
A club.
A club.
You went to a club.
Went to a club.
Holy smokes!
Yeah.
What is this? 1990?
Yeah. And the only thing they had on tap, because I wasn't gonna drink Bud Light or anything, was Guinness. So he bought me some Guinness, and then we ended up going to the Crescent after that club.
Oh. Are you talking about the Crescent on Franklin or the Crescent on Orchard?
Orchard.
Oh, damn it! I remember that place. They had like a shower curtain for the bathroom.
Yeah. Weird. Very weird.
Checkerboard. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so we went there. I think we played some pool and kept drinking, and then he ended up driving me home. And luckily, I lived close enough where I could walk to get my car the next day. But that was a bad night because I had way too many Guinness.
And if I remember right, Guinness is only around 4 or 5%.
It's not very high, yeah.
So you must have had a lot
I did.
of Guinness.
I did.
And that's the one thing that some of these darker beers are almost chewy.
Yeah, exactly.
They kind of fill you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine having too much, or I'd be just like waddling out the front door.
Right.
Whew, damn. So we all have a story.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that when we were just sitting here talking. I remembered it, so there you go.
Nice. Thank you for the story.
Yeah. Each kind uses malted grains, but stouts use the roasted barley. So that's the main difference.
Okay.
The malt process prepares the grain by watering and then drying to stop the germination, or steeping, I guess. Steeping is submerging the grain until the barley has reached a sufficient moisture level to allow uniform breakdown of the starches and proteins. Both styles use minimal hops, typically a bittering hop in the beginning of the boil, so no flavor or aroma hops. The barley and adjuncts provide the aroma and taste.
So just now you sounded like Bill Nye Science Guy.
Yeah, I know.
Talking about that steeping shit.
I mean, yeah, it's this the
It's all-
basics, right? It's the science
Yeah,
behind it.
it's all science.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a weird science.
Hey, it's a good movie.
It is a
Yeah.
good movie. Love it. So what about the adjuncts? Brad, what can you tell us about all the beers that you have drinking, all the stouts and porters? What are some adjuncts that are typically used?
Most I've seen are coffee and chocolate and cocoa nibs. Those are probably the three most used. There's also like different spices like cinnamon, nutmeg. I think I've seen ginger in them before, which is kind of odd.
Interesting. Yeah.
A lot of nuts, a lot of hazelnuts out there. Peanut butter. That's an interesting one.
Peanut butter,
Yeah.
I've seen
milk.
some peanut butter, milk stouts, and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, there's also chilies. I've had a very good one from, I think it was Evil Twin Brewing. They had a serrano pepper in there,
Oh, okay.
and that was mixed with chocolate, and that made it quite good. I was very impressed with that one.
Was it like tame? Like was it not
Yeah.
like super spicy at all? Okay.
No, just a little bit of spice, just enough.
Nice.
Not like the jalapeno one you had at Magic
No,
Valley?
no. Much better.
Nice. Yeast is another factor in this whole stout and porter thing, and it definitely varies from recipe to recipe. I mean, there's no specific one yeast that everybody uses. Like I said in the last episode, the Rogue Brewing, the beard beer, where the guy didn't wash his beard for months on end, and then he clipped some and sent it into the lab, and
That's so
they
gross.
got a yeast strain from it. Not my thing. No. Not my thing. If I see that on a bottle, I'm not going to get it.
No.
I'm not going to drink it.
You might not know it's in the beer. I don't know.
Hopefully they put that on the label, because
Well, maybe.
that's just, you got to know what you're getting into. So there are definitely different types of porters. I mean, just porters alone. Okay, we're focusing on porters now.
Porters. Yep.
Like I had the 3-picket porter from Crooked Fence, and at the time, great porter. I drank that like no other. That was my go-to, like I said. But there are different kinds.
There are.
Tom, what are the different kinds that are out there?
So they have American. They also have English, which differs from American by the quantity of dark grains that are used. Americans use slightly darker grains. Then there's a Baltic, which is typically higher in alcohol content, and that was because when back in the day, they needed to survive the trip over the Baltic Sea.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they call it Baltic.
Now this guy is like, I don't even know what to compare him to. He's like Socrates or something. He's telling us all kinds of knowledge right here.
And then there's a brown porter that's more malty than hoppy. Chocolate, toffee, caramel. It's like a heftier brown ale, so a little thicker maybe. And then there's also a robust porter, which is more intense. It's closer to a stout.
So now moving on to the stouts. There's all kinds of different stouts out there. And I don't even know if we can count them all. But Brad here, he's going to try to help us identify all the different kinds of stouts, kind of the basic ones. You can go on a stout kick for months, just naming all the different kinds of stouts. But let's kind of go over the basic stouts.
So there's the dry Irish, which a good example is the Guinness. It's dry or not sweet. It's typically carbonated with nitrogen. Bubbles are tinier to make it especially creamy and smooth.
Do you taste that when you drink the... Tom? I guess I'm coming to you on this
I
one.
mean, it's been a long time, but
since
yes.
you had so many.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't know tiny bubbles.
Yeah, the nitrogen.
Yeah.
And then there's the milk stout, which is almost like a milkshake to me. I mean, it's just one is enough because they're so sweet. But they add lactose or sugar found in dairy. Smooth, creamy, like chocolate milk or a milkshake.
Okay. Just like you said.
Yeah.
Milkshake.
There's the oatmeal stout, which I lean towards quite often. Adds oats for a smooth texture and creamy mouthfeel without sweetness.
I can say that oats is highly used in hazy IPAs
It is,
as
yeah.
well. And I hate to break off of the stout and the porter talk, but my passion is in IPAs. So I just had to bring that out. Sorry. Let's go back. Let's get back to the stouts. Sorry, go ahead.
There's pastry stouts, and those are stouts inspired from pastry desserts. They have a rich, sweet base, and it uses several adjuncts to achieve the different flavors that they come out with. And then there's coffee stouts. They have a strong coffee flavor. They can use coffee, but
Stronger than already?
yes,
Ooh, that's a lot of coffee.
almost like straight coffee.
Wow.
Damn, I can drink straight coffee all day long.
They can use coffee, but the caffeine is minimal.
No,
I wonder how they do that, though. I wonder how they use the coffee, but maybe it's not a lot. I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah,
this
that's
is something we need to try. Maybe we need to homebrew a coffee stout and actually use coffee beans and use the shit out of it, though. Like put in a pound of coffee.
Pound of coffee.
How would
Wow,
that
that's a
work?
lot. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I don't either. I don't brew this stuff, so I don't know. It'd be interesting.
As long as he's drinking it.
yeah, I ain't drinking it.
I'll be the guinea pig. I love.
All right, perfect.
I'll brew it all for you.
All right.
All right. What else we got?
There's the Imperial Stouts or the Russian Imperial Stouts.
Oh, so that's what
That's what
Yes.
this is, yeah.
we tried today.
They have a high ABV, often over 8%. They are intense sweetness and distinct dark chocolate and coffee.
So I will say that I had a distinct taste
yes.
of dark chocolate and coffee,
Oh, yes.
for sure.
Definitely.
And then there's my favorite, which is the barrel-aged stout, which are placed in wooden barrel to merge with the barrel's flavor. Barrels can be oak, vanilla, and usually whiskey.
Brad, let me ask you this. Can you actually taste what kind of whiskey or bourbon that it was soaked in?
I can taste the different types of bourbon that it's been soaked in. I drink more of the bourbon barrels than the whiskey barrels. They're much better in my opinion.
What is your favorite bourbon?
My favorite that's come from a bourbon barrel is probably I can't remember the brewery that put it out, but it was in a Maker's Mark barrel.
Okay.
That was very
Maker's
good.
Mark. Very good.
Yeah.
I've seen some IPAs done with some gin barrels.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
No, that's bad. Gin is like a pine tree.
No, wait, whoa. We could talk about this a little bit. There's actually scientific proof that if you mix a little gin in your beer, it brings out the aroma and the floral attributes.
Fucking check out Bill Nye again.
I'm just saying, I researched
Really?
it. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's actually, I don't remember where it was. There was actually a bar like back east that was like specializing in this kind of stuff.
Huh.
It's kind of interesting. So,
Okay. How often can you use one barrel to barrel age something?
From what I've seen, people can use them like as little as one time. I mean, if you got the cash,
Sure.
you can just buy another barrel.
Sure.
But you can keep using it as long as you can still get that flavor from the barrel.
I would imagine after time it's going to lose that.
Oh,
though,
yes.
right?
You
Like,
got
you're
to.
going to get it all soaked up in your beer.
Yes.
So,
Well, I'm sure it also depends on how long you soak it. What is the actual time? What's the average time that breweries soak it?
From what I've seen, it's been anywhere from 2 months to 2 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
it's a long time.
Yeah.
2 years.
That is a long time. I can't imagine anything for 2 years. I can't even. Well, I do have underwear that's older than 2 years. But other than that, I don't know. Yeah.
Your hat might be older than
My-
2 years.
It looks like it, but go Hawks. Anyway,
No, don't go Hawks.
Yeah.
Don't go Hawks.
okay, Brad. What?
Wow. That bourbon barrel really got to you, huh?
Yeah, I did. Brad, what brewery, in your opinion, makes the best porter or stout?
My favorite has been Revision. They make one called the Wooden Rose that is my favorite, and every time I see it, I pick that up. It's about $26 per bottle, but it's
Ooh.
How many ounces in this bottle?
I think it's probably 16 to 20, somewhere in there.
It's not
Bitch.
not a 750 or? Oh, man.
So, Tom and I, we love our Revision.
Yeah.
We do.
Revision makes one of the best hazies of all time.
Yeah.
I will say that. Thank goodness we're not paying that much
Right.
for 16 ounces.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I would stop drinking beer altogether.
No, you wouldn't. Shut your mouth.
Probably not. Probably
Shut
not.
your mouth.
Yeah. Okay, I'd still drink beer. It might be something cheaper, but I mean that's insane.
Yeah.
And you like doing that.
Yeah, it's totally worth it.
And your wife likes you doing that.
No.
Is she aware of how much this costs?
No.
Do you have a nickname? Because we have
Oh,
nicknames.
thank you, Tom. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a great topic. Tom and I, like we said before, we do dumb shit, and then all of a sudden we get a nickname. So I'm Mike, Tim, What are you?
Dumbass.
Dumbass. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just straight and to the point.
Yeah. Not creative at all.
No beating around the bush.
Nope.
It's just you
Okay.
are a dumbass.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Very good. I like it. So when you are in Twin Falls, I imagine, like I said before, it's very hard to get good beers.
Yeah.
So when you are trying to find a good beer, where do you go?
Mostly, I go to Rudy's. It's a
Is that
kitchen
like
store.
the Notre Dame player that played football?
No.
No?
Not quite.
Okay.
They have a lot of kitchen items, but
Like Williams Sonoma?
sure,
What do they say? Like kitchen gadgets and shit?
Yes.
Okay.
all sorts of kitchen gadgets. They have spices. They have oils.
Oh, wow.
What?
All sorts of stuff.
Oh my gosh, it sounds just like Williams Sonoma. And they got some great shit
But
there.
Williams Sonoma doesn't have beer. Shit.
No, they don't. I think
They
they
need a store like that here.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
But they
Damn.
have a pretty large selection of odd beers and just a whole bunch of wines.
Odd beers. What is an odd beer?
Well,
Come on, I want an odd beer. I'm all about the beers. I love trying new beers.
Well, strange beers that come from, I don't know, different countries that I've never heard of.
It's like World Market, where they have beers from all over. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I've never been to World Market.
This
ahead.
building is super old. I'm talking like early 1900s is when it was built. And you can actually go down into their basement where they have a massive selection of just bourbon barrel beers and just strange wines, which I'm not into at all, but some people are. And you got to remember to keep your head down because the ceiling's so low and the concrete on the bottom, on the floor, is very easy to trip over.
Oh, shoot.
It's
pretty
a
old.
hazard.
Pretty old.
Yeah.
You have to sign a waiver before you
Surprised
go
they
down
let
there?
you down there.
Right.
They remind you every time you go down there, watch
Okay.
your step and watch your head.
Do they have the revision down there?
They do not have the revision there.
Son of a gun. You better talk to the manager.
I know.
Karen.
I come to Boise for the revision.
Okay. So, actually, speaking of Karen, is the male version of Karen, is that a Brad?
Oh.
Or is it a Kyle? What was it?
Chad?
Oh, it could be a Chad.
Chad.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
You're saved. You got to pass on this one. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have another guest with us, and he was going to tell us about these beer geek parties that he goes to.
Oh, yeah.
When he got married, I was on the Tavour app, and the only time I got a stout was to purposefully give it to him for his wedding.
Okay.
So it was some crazy stout somewhere Midwest or back east. I had no idea what it was, but I did give it to them for their wedding, and they hung on to it for a while, and then they took it to one of their beer geek parties. And a beer geek party is where people, they get together and they want to try different styles and kinds of beer. And this was particularly focused on the stouts. And I'm sure it was because it's not specifically found around here. So they really loved it. But at these parties, everybody gets like a little taster cup.
Yeah, it's like tasting. Yeah.
Probably not like the Tupperware cup that we drank out of tonight, but
Probably not. Mm-mm.
probably a little bit classier. But everybody tries. They just have little sips of all these different kinds of beers that people bring. And I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck don't we have an IPA
We
beer
need to do an
party?
IPA geek party.
Yeah.
That's
To where we get like all these different kinds of IPAs. Maybe they do have them and we're just not invited.
well, we better get invited.
I know. Who do I need to call? Somebody. If anybody's listening right
Governor.
now, give us a call. Contact us.
Call the governor.
The
all right?
governor. He's going to let us know. All right. So, gentlemen, here we are. Talked about the dark beers. I hope everybody got something out of this. Is there anything we're missing? Is there anything that anybody else should know about some of these dark beers? My takeaway from this, if you're into the dark beers, if you like the dark beers, and you're drinking the dark beers, please be careful.
Yes.
Yeah, don't pull a mic.
Usually, these dark beers are big beers, and you go from Mark to Mike in about 3 seconds. I shit you not. So don't screw it up. Be able to enjoy that too often. So don't screw it up. And I'm trying to look out for everybody else. I screwed up so many times that now it's just whatever. It's just like she expects it now.
Yeah, they're used to it.
Yeah, that's right. One of these times I'm going to actually legally change my name to Mike because I screw up that many times.
All right, well, let's wrap it up here. You can always email us with any questions or requests, mtcans2022@gmail.com, or you can hit us up at Instagram at mt_cans.
Thanks for listening. A man who lies about beer makes enemies. Stephen King.
That's a good quote.
That is a good quote. Thank you, everybody. We'll catch you next month on the Empty Cans podcast.